Welcome in, everybody, to the PHNX Suns Podcast, presented by Michelob ULTRA. Get them ready, y'all. This one might be a little bit rough.
Yeah.
8 p.m. start. Denver Nuggets on deck. Woohoo, buddy. How you guys feeling?
2.6 carbs, 95 calories, all taste. I'm doing great,
There you
Lindsay.
go.
How are you?
I'm glad you're good. I'm not great. I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I think you have every right to be. This is a Nuggets team that's won 6 straight games.
Yeah.
Looking more like the reigning NBA champs that we expected them to be. I think the bench is still a concern for these guys long term, but that's kind of it because they have one of the most unstoppable starting fives in the entire sport. And the Suns are not in a good place right now, let's be honest. So
It gets worse, Gerald.
what's that?
The Nuggets are actually 9-3 in their last 12.
Yep.
And they have the second best home record in the NBA behind only the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
So buckle up. It's probably not going to be the greatest, but you know what? I've decided to just abandon all expectations and just try to follow what my good friend Dave King said to me at the beginning of the season and just try to enjoy some basketball. That's what I'm going to try to do because I blew a gasket last post game. I was not happy with Kevin Durant. People were not happy with me for not being happy with Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
I went and watched. It was Frank Vogel. It was other guys not rotating. It was some Kevin Durant. But I'm just going to try to enjoy some basketball, even if it's just small pockets of it during games.
To speak to your point real quick about KD, because that's been a hot topic of debate and the turnovers recently. It's kind of like in football when you see a quarterback's interceptions and it never clarifies whether the interception was on the quarterback or on the receiver for bobbling the pass. It feels like those turnovers need to be clarified in that way too, because a lot of times Kevin Durant's getting a turnover because he's having to try and thread a needle because there's not a proper rotation or because he has 2 guys in his face and no one's coming to the ball. And then sometimes he's just making bad decisions or he's getting trapped or he's being sloppy or careless with the ball. It's everybody on this team right now. It mostly falls on KD and Nurk because they've been handling the ball a lot more, but everybody on this roster needs to do a better job of just prioritizing taking care of the ball. And if you don't even if you don't have like the best possible play, just get up a shot because at least with a missed shot, you have a chance to rebound the damn thing.
Well, I also think you have to take into consideration that without Book out there, KD is the unequivocal star that's on the floor. So expectations fall on him, right?
Yeah.
And you think this is a top 5 guy of all time. He should be able to carry it. But you forget the fact he's 35 as well, which I think there's a lot of factors that go into it. And some of the criticism definitely is not fair. Some of it is warranted, but there's a systemic failure at times with everything going on the court. So that's why we were calling it, as the chat dubbed it last time, the solar coaster this year, because it's up, it's down, it's all around. It is the solar coaster, and we're just going to have to deal with that.
Multiple things can be true at the same time. The Suns need to take care of the ball. The system needs to be better. Frank Vogel needs to be better. KD needs to be better.
I need to be better.
You need to be better. I'm fine. I'm just kidding.
I'm doing
physically,
great.
you need to be better.
Get better.
I'm doing great. I'm proud of myself.
Gerald's like, I'm fine. Leave me alone.
I'm not
Don't
part
put
of
that
this.
bad juju on me. No, but it is absolutely a solar coaster of a season. It's been a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of that is because of injury, and we're dealing with that yet again. We all saw Devin Booker go down a couple days ago with an ankle sprain. He is not playing tonight. Here's what the injury report looks like. Devin Booker is out. Josh Okogie is also out. Nasir Little and, of course, Damian Lee remain out. Jusuf Nurkic, who was questionable coming into this one, is available, so he will play. He's dealing with a little bit of right calf tightness. And then Vlatko Kankar is out for the Nuggets as well.
Not Vlatko.
So as far as the Devin Booker injury goes, I'm sure you guys have all seen it, but we've got some updates for you. First and foremost, we'll share from Dwayne Rankin on Twitter, said sources inform AZ Central. Devin Booker's time range to return from right ankle sprain is 5 to 14 days, with 5 being the best case and 14 being the worst case. We also heard from Shams Charania, though, and he said anywhere from 7 to 10 days. So the range that we've got so far is 5 to 14 days, basically. What's y'all's guess? Pick your day. What day is Book coming back? Pick it.
When's the first game of the first round?
Jesus.
I'm going to guess the second Boston game, which I believe is next Sunday at 10 a.m. So that's my guess.
The
Well, that's the
Boston game?
Milwaukee
Or
game.
excuse me, the
Milwaukee?
Milwaukee game.
So the 17th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to go the second Boston game, which is Thursday, March 14th.
Okay. I'm going the game after that, the 15th, because it's a back-to-back against Charlotte. I think if he returns on a back-to-back, he's going to come back the second game.
Okay.
That's just my take. So we've got 14, 15, and 17 is our picks. Chat, let us know what game or what day you think Devin will be back. But the bad news is he's got this is his 13th missed game. Tonight will be.
Yes.
Which means he has 4 games remaining before he reaches that threshold of no longer being eligible for postseason awards. Basically, he has to come back by the 15th, and he has to play every single game for the rest of the season in order to be eligible. So his is dwindling. It's just literally day by day that door is closing.
Much like Devin on Instagram today, I give 0 Fs about whether he's eligible for the post game awards. Yeah, he's no longer eligible for the big bright shining star. No, for the postseason awards, because at this point, even if you play, are you really going to achieve it? And why rush back with that in mind when this team desperately needs you to be healthy for even an opportunity to try to accomplish what really matters this season?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely shouldn't rush back or move up his timeline just for awards to meet that threshold. But it just speaks to the point that this threshold was stupid from the start. It's a dumb rule. It messes with guys' money, and not the whole league. Obviously, it's mostly just the top talent guys, but it's still just a dumb rule. That threshold being at 65 games is way too high. I understand what they're trying to incentivize and what they're trying to do, but it's a dumb rule. And now I do think, as much as we're focused on the postseason and the Suns as a team, this stuff does matter to these guys, and it would be unfortunate if Book is able to return, continue to play at an all NBA level like he has for the majority of the season, and he missed out on even a third team all NBA. That would be shitty just because he plays 63 or 64 games.
And you know he cares about it. You can't tell me he doesn't care about
Yeah,
it, because it's another notch in the legacy.
But with the way this season's going, I wonder if he cares a little bit less.
Probably, but it's still going to linger in the back of his mind, and it's still going to be there as a pestering thought of wanting to be back. It's not that it's going to be the sole reason why he would try to rush back, but it's added to why he would try to rush back. If that makes sense.
No, I agree, because obviously it's in his mind too that he needs to get back as soon as possible to help this team as well. I'm not suggesting that he'd risk injury just to come back, but to your point, this threshold's ridiculous. But I think the only way it changes is when we have 1 or 2 guys that should be the top
that
1
are
or 2 MVP guys
shoo-ins.
that wind up missing it by a game or 2, and there's all hell is going to break loose because of it. And then the league fully re-examines the idea of a threshold, because I think they're going to point at it and go, look, at load management didn't happen this year. In particular, the point at the Clippers and teams like that.
Okay, but that's BS, because didn't we just get a statement from Kawhi the other day, and they were like, why were you been able to play so much? And he's like, because I'm not injured.
Right.
Yeah, but that it doesn't matter what the truth is. They're going to point at, look, it worked, because nobody likes to say, well, our rule didn't work. You know?
But I feel like they're even just looking at this year, like Joel Embiid is going to miss it. Tyrese Halliburton is, as someone pointed out in the chat, currently playing injured just so he can.
Well, his is a big one because he'll miss out on like $30 million or something like that. A big number.
So we're already having problems with it. Not to that extent yet, but there's more than enough evidence right now with some of the guys that are probably going to miss all NBA that like the dumb rule that we thought was dumb turns out it is in fact dumb.
Yeah. So Charles in the chat said, if he doesn't make an all NBA team, what incentives is he missing? So for Devin, I think it's probably tied into it's probably an escalator within his contract, which I don't know if we have all of the details on that, but I would assume he's got it baked in the same way that like all-star appearances are baked in. You basically get bonuses for things like that.
Right.
When you're up for contract negotiations, being named to those teams gets you like the supermax type
there's
stuff,
certain
right?
thresholds, number of times you're named a first team.
You can get more and more money basically.
Yeah.
So it could potentially come into play down the line of his career as he stacks those up.
I think that's a crap thing to tie to money too. When you have a threshold, because then you are forcing guys into a business decision when it should be what's going to keep me healthiest too at times.
Yeah. So that's a bummer though. No Devin tonight, but Ish Wainwright's back, y'all.
He is.
The Suns announced that they have brought Ish Wainwright back into the fold on a two-way contract. So for anybody who is freaking out about the Suns bringing Ish Wainwright back, he's not taking up a full roster spot. He's on a two-way contract. What's the harm, y'all? What's the harm?
The harm is Teo Maladon. The guy, none of us know what he looks like. Couldn't identify he was out there warming up with cornrows. You would not know who he was.
Teo wasn't going to play. And Ish Wainwright might. And even if he doesn't, he's a good vibes guy.
I'm not convinced he was ever actually here. The guy that checked into the game wearing that 12, none of us actually know if that was him.
I can confirm it was him.
How do you know that the guy that showed up was him? Huh?
No, I saw a lot of like visceral reactions to bringing Ish back, and I get it. He doesn't solve any of the team's problems, but were you expecting the 18th man on your roster to do that? Because if you were, our season's over already. Our season's over. If we need our 18th man, our third two-way guy to come in, fill the 15th roster spot and make an impact on a title contending team, like you messed up at spots 1 through 15 if that's what you're relying on. So,
I mean, to be fair, he's not even eligible for the playoffs.
He's not.
So what the hell difference does it make?
It doesn't make a difference. Like, and if you're complaining, like, I wish they would have got someone younger, like more of a project. Okay, I get that, but they still don't have a G League team. So what does it affect you in any way, shape, or form? It doesn't. Relax. Touch grass. It's fine. You guys complain about the vibes being off, and then they bring in a vibes guy, and you're still going to be mad about the 18th guy on the roster? Please, give me a fucking break.
The cheering on the bench just got so much better, and we'll get Ish back in here for more great stories. It's a win across the board, people.
I mean, honestly, like, I totally get
it's bizarre
desire to, like, be concerned about this because you want something that helps make your team better. But no matter who you're putting in that 18th spot on that third two-way contract, they're not going to do that.
Right.
Like nobody who is able to actually make a difference on this team would take that spot.
No.
Every time I read stuff like this, I default back to everything is awful. Everything is cruel when you rule for this team.
Yeah, pretty much.
And Jeremy, it might be pointless to you, but I promise you it's not pointless to Ish Wainwright. You know what I mean? Like he's getting another opportunity and he's making some money and he's around guys that he obviously likes, and those guys like him around as well. And maybe Ish Wainwright will be on our G League team next year.
Gives you additional size that you're practicing against.
Yeah.
Which, it sounds dumb, but all those little things have an impact. So
right. Exactly. So yay for Ish Wainwright. All right, guys. Looking at the Nuggets, now that we've got kind of the housekeeping out of the way. Not named Nikola Jokic. What's your biggest concern for tonight?
My biggest point of intrigue is Jamal Murray. I want to see Bradley Beal go at him because Jamal had the ankle injury. He's back, but I want to test him early on with Beal going to the hoop on him. Force that. I know they're going to want KCP probably on Beal, but force those switches. Try to go at Jamal a little bit and see if there's any lingering effects on that. Be aggressive when it comes to him.
I'm kind of most concerned with Aaron Gordon. He's a guy that gave them a lot of problems in the matchup last year in terms of how well he defended KD, made his life difficult. And then on the other end, they had no one to match his size and physicality. Obviously, Royce O'Neal is giving up a couple of inches there in terms of height. Like, that's a problem. But he's a guy that you kind of went out and got so that he could guard bigger wings. And that Nikola Jokic, Aaron Gordon connection in terms of always finding him around the hoop is something the Suns have struggled with in the past. So he's kind of my guy that I'm looking at. Like, how are they going to be able to match up with him? Because we know they've had smaller lineups for the most part, whether they've had Beal available, Book available or not. So they're going to be giving up a lot of size to this Nuggets team, and Gordon is the guy that regularly punishes them for that.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys where it's, I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's a little bit hard to root against him. Like, he annoys the hell out of me, but I don't hate him.
I went to ASU and he made a whole rap video about losing the dunk contest, which was the corniest thing ever. Which is why I
like him. I thought that shit was so funny.
Do you remember the necklace with Shamit?
Funny, Gerald.
No, it was corny as hell.
It was one of the greatest things we've gotten content-wise from an All-Star weekend ever.
He was getting clowned for that so hard.
It was so perfect.
Lindsay likes that stuff.
I do.
Right? She's here for the ridiculous content.
All the cheesy
I like
stuff.
How do you not like me more than?
He wasn't trying to be cheesy, though.
You got to be. If he had just put out the song, I would have hated it. The music video that accompanied the song, Chef's Kiss.
He wasn't trying to be cheesy, though.
Okay,
like, if you're trying to be cheesy
you're
on
trying
purpose,
to be cheesy with
that.
That's
meant
how
that shit.
That's how I am taking it.
It hurt him, so he made an actual music video. It was so bad.
I thought it was so funny.
Lindsay should like me a lot more.
It was one of those things that's so bad, it's good.
Oh, man.
One thing, seriously, though, I want to see them be physical with Denver tonight. Because we've seen before, Jokic can lose his cool in certain situations. And if Nurk can get under his skin and there's history there, you might be able to get him. You're never going to stop Nikola Jokic. You're never going to neutralize him. But if you can get in his head a little bit, maybe it gives you just enough breathing room where you can do something. I don't have a lot of faith tonight that that's going to happen in general, but there's little things that I think you have to do to try to give yourself a chance tonight.
I am keeping an eye on the Nurk Jokic matchup because obviously Jokic is going to win that battle. Like, you're not going to hold the best player in the NBA with Nurk, but Nurk has given him physicality. He's played him really tough. We've seen this is a matchup that he personally gets up for a lot of the time.
There's a desire to play well against
and
this team.
He has certain matchups, and this is number one on that list, I think, for him as his former team and the guy that they basically replaced him with and now they're winning titles with. And he's coming off a game where he had a franchise record 31 rebounds. So I would like to see him clean up the turnovers. He admitted after last game he's got to be better after having 2 back-to-back pretty high turnover games. But he's been pretty great for the Suns outside of that since he came back. So hopefully the calf isn't hindering him in any way.
Did you see the stat? And I may not have it exactly right, so sue me if I don't. That Nurkic was the first guy to have 10 or more points and 30 or more rebounds in under 32 minutes since Bill Russell.
Oh, wow.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was one crazy stat that tied him and Bill Russell basically in the same sentence. And you've done something good if that happens as a big man.
Yeah. Dwayne Rankin also tweeted out some sound from Nuggets head coach Mike Malone just about Jusuf Nurkic and how he's matured and grown up over the years. And he said, quote, he's comfortable in his own skin. And I think that's one of the biggest differences from when he was a member of the Nuggets to where he is now. He's not fighting for a spot, worried about, in the sense that he was with the Nuggets, this guy coming up behind him who is going to take his spot and basically just push him to the curb. Nurk is in a good spot with this team. He feels comfortable. He feels confident in the role that he's playing. And to your point, Gerald, like you said, this is a matchup he takes really personally. So it's going to be a fun game. I'm glad that he's available for this one. I feel like if there was one storyline, knowing that Book wasn't going to play in this game that we would have missed out on, it would be this one.
Bull as well against a team that he started with, and that some people had some choice things to say about him in terms of his approach to the game. So.
Yeah.
It would be nice for him to have a good game, especially because the last few have not been great for him, and it would be nice for him to hit a few threes and kind of stretch the floor and then be able to attack because he's had a rough stretch here for the last couple games.
Yeah. All right, so starters tonight, we got Bradley Beal, Grayson Allen, Royce O'Neal, Kevin Durant, Yusuf Nurkic. What are they all going to be wearing, though?
The White Association Edition jerseys tonight against the ugliest freaking jerseys in the NBA.
I agree 100% with you.
What is this Mile High City bullseye with a number in the middle? Like, they had one of the coolest uniforms with the mountain range in the different colors. Like, they've had multiple different iterations, and they come out with this clown suit. Congratulations, Denver. You even make your champions look like idiots.
Terrible. We agree on that. Who you guys got tonight and by how much? This isn't going to be pretty.
No, I got the Nuggets by 9.
These clown idiots in those uniforms are going to win by 8 tonight.
I have them by 6, and Saul and Flex have them by 5. I think this might be the first time all year we've all not picked the Suns.
At least in a very
I feel like there was
long time.
another injury
Was there?
game where we all went against them, but I can't remember.
Maybe. But it's a sad day when this happens. I don't like it.
That's
What do
where
our
we're
friends at the BetMGM Sportsbook app think, though?
No, they think about it poorly as we do.
Goodness.
Suns are an 8.5 point underdog today.
Okay. Well, Espo, what you putting your money on? Did you take anything fun?
The hell if I know. What am I putting
You
my
don't
money
remember?
on?
You put your money on?
Sadness. Oh, KD to hit the first shot tonight for in the
Okay,
game.
well, bring it on, Espo, because I also took that bet, but for somebody else. I'm going with Bradley Beal first field goal tonight.
Which means you should put your money on Grayson Allen to hit the first shot tonight.
It's going to get intense in here. It's going to get intense in
rolling
here.
with the first field goal tonight. Flex took Royce O'Neal.
Okay.
For the first field goal.
It's going to be great when it's Nikola Jokic.
I know, right?
Flex
Well, here's
is
the
just trying to throw
Here's
like
the thing.
lob grenades.
Do you think that Jokic is going to win the tip? Because I looked at these odds. Nurk's still a minus 200 against Jokic.
Oh, yeah. I almost took Jokic, but then I was like, I can't do that.
I looked at
I
it
feel
too,
so
and I was
damn
like, I
dirty.
can't do it.
No.
No, absolutely not.
Nurk is surprisingly good at
He's
jump
so
balls.
good at it.
Never would have thought.
It's great, but also it's terrible because the odds on BetMGM are terrible for him, so I can't bet on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I supposed to take a minus 450 bet?
Yeah, yes, that's you. It's
I
very,
mean,
It's very
I would
you.
probably
Very
be
Lindsay.
better
That
off
is
if I had
very
done
you.
that all
You're about to
season
be
than I was right
negative.
now. What is Saul picking? Saul definitely didn't go with the first field goal.
Oh,
No,
he's got a 5
Saul had
leg.
to send a 5-leg parlay out of plus 450. So he's got the Nuggets winning, player PRA for Jokic at 40 plus, PRA for Gordon at 25 plus, PRA for Beal at 20 plus, and PRA for Grayson Allen at 16 or 15?
16?
16.
So it's a plus 450. Of course, Saul picked a 5-leg parlay.
5-leg for plus 450, and I just need one shot to go in and get plus 475. I mean, come on. Do less work, Bookman.
Facts, and ours is a 50-50 shot,
Yeah, exactly.
technically.
Well, worse than
Kinda.
that.
It's like a 10%
No,
shot.
yeah, it's not.
Yeah, yes.
You wanna
There's 10
really do the
guys
math.
out there.
If Bradley Beal has the ball in his hands, then it's 50-50.
Yeah,
No?
No, it's a lot worse than that. You got to win the
He
tip.
could get it stolen. He could get. No, Lindsay, I'm
If
not
he
with you
shoots
on this
the ball,
Well,
one.
I'm talking
50-50.
about, yes, I guess if he's shooting-wise, 50-50
Mathematication is
shot.
very difficult here.
Listen,
Also,
I'm still a little under the weather. Leave me alone.
also,
But you're not
Eli,
wrong.
I was told no
Math
longer
is
to
hard.
promote the Coca-Cola, so please don't do that this evening. I don't care how bad the game is. So
Oh, my goodness. What does the leaderboard look like? Do I even want to know?
it looks good for me.
Of course it does.
Oh, wow.
283.50.
How long have I been gone?
Gerald, he hit one of those stupid bets
you?
again.
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
I know Saul's mad
Yeah,
about that.
Saul had
Don't be a chicken.
138. Huh?
Don't be a chicken.
I
Maybe
had
you'll be up there with him.
I mean, I took a pretty big swing tonight.
It's not
Yeah.
a big swing.
That was a pretty big
It's a-
swing.
it's a
It was
moderate.
a plus 700,
It's a
wasn't
moderate.
it?
I
For
hit
mo-
a plus 2,200 when I
Yeah.
won mine.
For
Well,
most
whatever,
people, it's a
I suppose.
moderate swing. For Lindsay, this is a,
It's a big swing for me.
grand slam.
It's
I only have $17.23, and Flex is on the negative 126.01.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
this
tough.
is Lindsay. She thinks driving to Mesa is a big swing.
Bro, it's not even about driving to Mesa. literally the worst thing that could happen to me.
You've been sick for like 4 months out of the last 5, and
I
she thinks
know.
that driving to Mesa is the worst thing that can happen.
By the way-
Probably because I drove to
Hold
Mesa 5 months ago, Gerald.
Hold on a second.
That's why I've been
How-
sick for 4 months straight.
Lindsay doesn't
Damn.
leave the house and she gets sick
Dude,
more
you're
than any
telling
other
me.
human.
I know this. Don't get me started.
It's crazy.
At least
guys
we're
wanna-
enjoying the pregame.
If you guys
Yeah.
want to get in on the action, you can sign up for the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app and make sure you sign up using that bonus code PHNX. All you got to do after you use that promo code is place your first BetMGM Sportsbook wager through the BetMGM Sportsbook mobile app of at least $5, and you're going to receive $150 instantly in additional winnings, regardless of your wager's outcome. You can check out the show notes for full details. And now you can listen to Damon talk about the disclaimer.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369 New York. Call 1-800-327-5050 Massachusetts. 21 plus to wager. Please gamble responsibly. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP Arizona. 1-800-BETS-OFF Iowa. 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help Michigan. 1-800-981-0023 Puerto Rico in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Visit BetMGM.com for terms. This promotional offer is not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico.
Get stuffed, Ontario. Puerto Rico, we're sorry that Flex represents you in betting.
Damn.
Hunstar says, gonna dress up as the 202 for Halloween and scare Lindsay.
It's
This is a good one.
terrifying. Just the thought of it almost gives her a heart
I
attack.
mean, honestly,
Honestly,
it
the
does.
best freeway you can drive on, though.
It is.
There's nobody on it. It's always
It's
well
amazing.
maintained.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
That's a lie. Literally was closed like half of last year.
Not where we drive on it.
I think it was closed the other day because a car drove the opposite way onto it.
Was it
But
not
other than
closed?
It's
that-
filled with
Or
old
was
people.
that the 60?
No, the 60 is always closed. The 60
60
is
is a
the,
disaster.
the 60 is the ugly twin of the 202, right?
And the
It-
202 is so far. Like you. What are we doing here? Why are we living on that far outside of town?
Because,
what are we doing?
Lindsay, I got a house that's like twice the size of yours for like a third of what you paid for
False.
yours. It's
That's
not-
false. And you know it. Anyway, enough with the Mesa slander. Downtown Mesa is fine, but Far East Mesa and beyond,
Screw you,
Can
Lynn.
get
You know that's
stuck.
where I live. You know that's where I
I don't
live.
live there anymore, so that doesn't hurt me.
Damn.
thanks for hanging out with us, you guys. We appreciate you for being here. Hopefully this game has some good moments that we get to talk about post game. Fingers crossed. Don't forget to join us after this one wraps up for the post game show. And in the meantime, check out gophnx.com to learn all about the perks of becoming a diehard and to get your tickets to our tea party that is just around the corner.
And DNVR, if we win, oh, get ready, boys. Get ready.
Bye.
We all silly like the mayor.